Oh, great. Okay, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm going to hit continue.
Okay, so
There we go.
um, we will be running through. This is rehearsal 3. Um, so we're kind of going to stay on the same repetition that we've been doing. We're going to do that repetition exercise that we all love. So let's go ahead, and if you don't mind, we can begin that one. It'd be you have a white shirt, I have a white shirt.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll get it
Okay.
right.
The third one,
Fine.
I think we got this in the bag.
So just tell me real quick, what are the rules, or there are no rules, or?
The rules are you're gonna try to stay physical. So anything physical you see about me, and the goal of the exercise is to stay centered and focused and kind of like quickly run through. Like I have a white shirt, you have a white shirt, like that. So we can just start off slow again. Let's try. Okay, so you have a white shirt.
I have a white shirt.
Great. So what you kind of do when you get mixed up, I've noticed from rehearsal 1 through 2, once you're kind of in it, you forget that you can always say, I have a white shirt when I come at you. So I'll say, you have a white shirt.
I have a white shirt.
And then I'm going to say it again. You're going to say it again. You have a white shirt.
I do have a white shirt.
And then now I'm going to say it again. You have a white shirt.
And then can I come at you?
You can, or you could say, I have a white shirt. And we could do that for an hour. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so, or you can come to me. So then,
Okay, I'm going to come to you.
cool.
You're wearing a black shirt.
And then I can either decide to say, you have a white shirt.
I do have a white shirt.
You have black headphones.
I do have black headphones.
You have black headphones.
Your hair is black.
Great, you did. That was good. You did it. I think like
I'm still. It's like every time we do this, I feel like I'm doing it wrong.
No, it's
But anyway, all right.
Let's run through it one more time.
All right.
Okay. You have white teeth.
I do have white teeth.
You have a 2E shirt on.
I do have a 2E shirt on.
You have olive skin.
You have a black shirt on.
I have a black shirt on.
You do have a black shirt on.
Now you switch up. So then say something else about me.
Okay. Your shirt is purple.
My shirt is purple.
Your shirt is purple.
You have a white shirt on.
You have a necklace on.
You don't have a necklace on.
I do not have a necklace on.
Yes, you did it. Okay. That was awesome. Okay, cool.
All right.
Okay. Okay, now we are gonna go for today. Do you have that script pulled up?
I do.
Cool. We are going to be looking at scene. It starts on page 3, which would be scene 4, but it's on page 3. And it starts with, "Hey man, wrong door. We're over here." We are going to do the monotoned rote memorization for this, just to kind of get familiar with the script for this scene, because today we're going to be kind of breaking down this scene and doing staging along with just kind of breaking it down. So for this rote memorization, I just kind of want to get us comfortable with this side of the script, because we did in the last rehearsal, we did the first scene. So yeah, great. So I'm gonna have you for the first 2 reads, I'm gonna have you do the monotoned, no emotion, and just directly looking at your script. You can skip the lines of Marcus. So if you wanna.
Okay. All right. I'm good.
Oh, great. Okay.
So we're picking up from "Hey man, wrong door."
Yep.
Okay, here we go. "Hey man, wrong door. We are over here. Get lost? A little different from where you live. Here, help me with this desk. Down at the bottom. You live here? So the big house. Man, you had me thinking you were rich.
Good, good, great. I think you've kind of got that down very well now. The only line that I kind of noticed that kind of emotion was like, "You live here," kind of questioning it,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
good because once you read it for with emotion, you kind of had that down. So let's try that just one more time.
All right, we're going monotone, top of page 3.
Yes.
Hey man, wrong door. We are over here. Get lost? Little different from where you live. Here, help me with this desk. You live here? So, the big house. Man, you had me thinking you were rich.
Good. That was better. That was good. Okay, great. We are going to do the same thing, but this time, like we did in rehearsal 2, I'm going to read Marcus's action and dialogue, and we're going to kind of try to look more towards your partner, but keeping that same no emotion and yeah. Do you have any questions on that?
I do not.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead, get started. Okay.
Can you read into
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
exterior housing project
Okay.
action? Okay.
Yeah. Exterior housing projects day. Marcus closes the door and looks down to see Sean and his mom moving boxes into the apartment on the second level. Sean looks up to see Marcus and waves at him.
Hey man, wrong door. We're over here.
Marcus hesitantly walks down the stairs with his head down.
Did you get lost? A little different from where you live, right?
For this one, I'm just going to give you a minor change. We're still doing the
Monotone?
Yeah, yep. So let's go
Okay.
ahead and let's start
Yep.
back with
I'll
Hey
just
Man
start.
Wrong Door.
Hey man, wrong door.
Yeah.
Ready?
Great. Yep.
Hey man, wrong door. We're over here.
Marcus hesitantly walks down the stairs with his head down.
Get lost? A little different from where you live.
Yeah, I guess.
Here, help me with this desk.
The two boys pick up the heavy desk and struggle to bring it up the first steps. The weight suddenly gets easier as a man steps in and helps them bring the desk up the stairs. They steadily climb up the stairs one at a time until they reach the second floor. The man, Rick, the landlord, stops to take a long breath until he looks up and recognizes Marcus. One sec. Should I start recording this?
You are recording.
Cool. Okay.
All
I
right.
got a notification, but we're good. Okay. Marcus, good to see you again. It's been a minute. I see you've met your new neighbor. Sean looks at Marcus, confused. We're already friends. Good to hear that. Well, let me know if you boys need any more help. Rick walks off as the two boys stand awkwardly. Sean looks at Marcus. His head is down as he tries not to make eye contact.
You live here?
Silence falls upon them while Marcus wipes dust off the desk in front of him.
So the big house.
Not mine. Sean nods and takes a deep breath, takes a step forward and puts his hand on Marcus's shoulder. He pauses as he tries to find the right things to say.
Man, you had me thinking you were rich.
Marcus looks up and lets out a small, hesitant chuckle. We are rich. What are you talking about? Sean wipes the dust off the desk as he moves it inside. Great. Cool. Okay. That was good. We're going to go ahead and run that one more time, and then we're going to kind of go over we're going to break this scene down. Great. Okay, let's go ahead and run that one more time with the monotoned dialogue. So whenever you're ready, we can just start with, hey man, wrong door.
Hey man, wrong door. We're over here.
Marcus hesitantly walks down the stairs with his head down.
Get lost. A little different from where you live.
Yeah, I guess.
Here, help me with this desk.
The two boys pick up the heavy desk and struggle to bring it up the first steps. Weight suddenly gets easier as a man steps in and helps them bring the desk up the chairs. They steadily climb up the stairs one at a time until they reach the second floor. The man, Rick, the landlord, stops and takes a long breath until he looks up and recognizes Marcus. Marcus, good to see you again. It's been a minute. I see you've met your new neighbor. Sean looks at Marcus confused. We're already friends. Good to hear that. Well, let me know if you boys need any more help. Rick walks off as the two boys stand awkwardly. Sean looks at Marcus. His head is down and he tries not to make eye contact.
So, you live here?
Silence falls upon them while Marcus wipes dust off the desk in front of him.
So, the big house.
Not mine. Sean nods and takes a deep breath. He takes a step forward and puts his hand on Marcus's shoulder. He pauses as he tries to find the right things to say.
Man, you had me thinking you were rich.
Marcus looks up and lets out a small, hesitant chuckle. We are rich. What are you talking about? Sean wipes the dust off the desk as he moves it inside. Great. Okay.
All right.
Let us. Okay, so we are going. Okay. So in rehearsal 1, we are overall, we kind of did this for rehearsal 2. We kind of just recapped what we thought our overall literal action. So what do you think what is literally going on in this scene? What do you think?
Okay, if we're picking it up to where they're at the housing project and Sean says, "Hey, wrong door, we're over here." So he hesitantly walks up. I mean, I'm just kind of reading the action here. So do you want me to just put it in my own words or? Yeah, so they walk down, he's kind of got his head down and says something like, "It's a little different from where you live." Like he kind of acknowledges that he's the environment is different.
Yeah, well, that's good.
They pick up a desk, they're heading up the steps.
If we would just kind of want to sum up this scene, instead of being very, very literal.
Sure. So I summing up
this sentence, kind of what's going on.
Okay, so here's what I'll say about that. He reveals that he doesn't that they are very much the same.
And what is Sean like? What does Sean want in this scene, do you think? Like from Marcus? Like, does he want him an answer? Or does he?
I think basically he acknowledges that.
So that's great. To acknowledge
Yeah,
his friend.
Acknowledge that they're similar and that there's no income gap between them. They're one and the same.
Yeah.
That's what I get out of it.
I too. So is Sean gonna get what he wants from this scene? Like if we say he wants him to, do we say realize, what do we say we want him? We'll just switch it up. If he wants him to realize or an answer from Marcus, do you think he in some ways gets that answer from him?
Yes, I think he kind of does. I mean, it's the reality of here we are. There's, no hiding behind dropping me off a mile and a half from where I really live.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, cool. So we kind of talked about in our overall what Sean wants is that Sean wants the answer from Marcus. And in many ways, he really just wants to get him to let go. I don't think we kind of were talking about in our last rehearsal to get him to be straight with us or like to get him to fess up or admit something. I would agree to disagree on that and just say to get someone to let go of maybe their own self, maybe
their own fears.
Yeah,
about acceptance.
Their own ego. I think ego is kind of a big thing in this. It's like maybe, Sean sees like kind of the opposite side of ego as being like kind of embarrassed. Um, I think Sean has a big ego, but doesn't want Marcus to like be embarrassed about what he's going through because they're kind of the same. So
I agree with that statement.
cool. So for this one, I kind of just want to kind of reason with an action that Sean wants Marcus to let go.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Now,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of reading fairly deep into that.
yeah.
I don't think there's anything in that script. Again, it would come out in the action of him really saying, "Oh, I want you to let go."
Mhm.
I think it just kind of naturally happens when he realizes that their surroundings are similar and that you know, that he doesn't have to act around him. He's very accepting of where they live.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
All right.
Well, and that's kind of the whole point of just us kind of breaking this down is to like realize, what's going on in the scene, um, and not like getting too literal, um, but just kind of trying to surface level understand the characters. Um, Great. Now let's go ahead and kind of run through the blocking for this, the staging. If you kind of want to follow along.
Yeah.
Um,
So they're at the housing project.
yeah, so they are standing outside. Um, so Sean, we'll start with, let me get my script. Here it is. So for position one, in the housing project, so Marcus closes the door. This is on page 2 a little bit.
Right, I got it. Yeah.
Position one. So what Sean is doing in this scene is he's on the lower level of the housing project. There's like 2 levels. He's moving in boxes. So for position one, he'll be standing by a car, and he will be moving in boxes, moving over boxes or taking boxes out of the car.
Okay.
So for position 2, Sean will look up, and he'll look at Marcus and wave. So Sean looks up to see Marcus and waves at him. So that would be position 2. For position 3,
What page is position 2 on?
Position 2 is on page 2. So Sean looks up to see Marcus and waves at him.
Okay.
Okay, and then we switch over to page 3. Position 3 will be, hey man, wrong door, we're over here. So that will be him just putting down his hand. He waved him, hey man, wrong door, we're over here. So he'll then put his hand down for position 3 after that line. Marcus hesitantly walks down the stairs with his head down. So during this scene, get lost a little different from where you live. That will be position 4. And that will be where Sean is setting down a box that he's been carrying to talk to Marcus. So he'll be like, hey, get lost different from where you live. So there'll be a cut and we'll see Marcus walk down, and then we'll see Sean set down a box and say, hey.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
When he says get lost, he's asking him like, did you get lost? Like
Because
not like get lost, like get lost, get out of here. It's more like did you get lost?
Yeah, a little different where you live, like, because why is Marcus, coming out of a door? You know what I mean? Like, why is Marcus over there when he
At a housing project?
Yeah, like he should
supposedly lives in a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, like why is he like upstairs on the top floor? Did he get lost? It's kind of like, hey, get lost, a little different from where you live. Yeah. So between so he sets down a box to take to talk to Marcus, and then the next set of action would be position 6, where he picks up a desk. Him and Marcus pick up a desk. They start walking it up the stairs, and then they stop at position 8, where Rick Rick helps them up the stairs. So sorry, they pick up the desk. They start walking up the stairs, and then Rick comes in and helps them walk up the stairs. Position 8 is when they stop at the top of the stairs and say, "Marcus, good to see you." So that's that conversation with Rick and Marcus. And that travels down to Rick walks off as the two boys stand awkwardly. That would be position 9. And Sean will lean on the desk as they're talking because this is a big revelation moment. So then towards the end of the scene, there'll be no change until Sean stands up to take in the desk that they were just taking upstairs. Does that make sense in a way?
Yeah, I don't have on my script the scene number changes.
Yeah, so there's no scene changes in this. This would just be all action driven changes.
Okay.
So it's still scene 4, but this is just action throughout the scene.
Sure. Once again, your papers or something is scratching the microphone. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna run through that one more time because that was kind of a lot. If we were in person, it would be easier. I could just kind of show you exactly what I wanted to do, but for right now, we can just kind of talk it through it one more time.
I think I got it.
Okay, you're good. Okay.
Yeah, but what am I supposed to do during this? Is this still monotone?
No, I just kind of wanted to run that with you. We don't have to do anything with it. I just kind of wanted to give you those position points just so you can be familiar with them.
Okay.
Great. So we're just gonna kind of now again break down the scene just a little bit more. So now that we got the staging and the blocking for that, let us work. So we kind of talked about last time, or we talked about, let me look. Do you think the staging is working for you? Do you think that kind of makes sense in your head as far as like logistical wise, like taking up the steps, like the table up the steps and then stopping and then talking to Rick? What do you think you're doing when Rick and Marcus are talking? That's because
Well, I guess I would say that that's a learning moment from me because obviously now Rick is the landlord and those two have a relationship that I'm just learning about.
I think like this would be the point for me. This is a major like dramatic beat change, and I just kind of wanted to know what you think, like what Sean would be like doing in this scene, because for the most part, it's just Rick and Marcus talking, and we have nothing on what Shane's doing in the script. But I think a really important part about this scene is what Sean is doing, because he's been caught in a lie, almost essentially. Marcus is, but what is Sean doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, Sean's just kind of playing it cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
he's not confronting Marcus.
Yeah.
He's not making a scene in front of Rick.
Perfect. Yeah.
He's just kind of gracefully acknowledging the situation.
Yeah. No, that's pretty much exactly what I wanted you to say to kind of get to that conclusion, is that he's playing it cool because we talked about the essential action to get someone to let go or to ease up or to not berate him. And we talked about that choice that Sean has to make in this scene. because right after is when Sean looks up at Marcus and asks, do you live here? You live here? So I think the biggest part about the Rick and the Marcus situation is that what Sean isn't doing almost. Do you agree with that? He's kind of just playing it cool, like you said. Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Let us. Let's read it through one time. So for this read through, we we're talking about to get someone to ease up, to get someone to ease. Because in the beginning of the script, we kind of see Sean mimicking in a way him, kind of like berating him or being like, "Oh, you're rich," but for this, let's try to read this one through with the goal of um, to ease Marcus, because Marcus is going through kind of a lot in this scene because he's been caught in a lie and now he has to confront this issue, or how is Sean going to react to this. So let's read this through. And yeah, let's just go ahead and read this through. Why don't you just read your dialogue? Not
Where we
the
starting?
Yeah, hey man, wrong door.
Okay, top
And
of page
we
3.
can read it with the emotion to kind of
Okay.
ease. Great.
So it starts out where the action before that says yell. So he's like, "Hey man, wrong door. We're down here or we're over here."
Yeah.
And then, did you get lost? A little different from where you live.
Yeah, I guess.
Here, help me with this desk.
All right, then we'll jump down. How about we jump down till you live here?
You live here? So, the big house thing?
Not mine.
Man, you had me thinking you were rich.
We are rich. What are you talking about? Cool. Great. No, I like.
I'm surprised Sean doesn't say word.
Yeah.
Like,
Word.
like some kind of a, because when you say we are rich, it's kind of a soulful moment or something like,
And mic drop. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are rich. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, cool. Work the scene. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think that's good. Let me give me 1 second. Do you have any questions?
I don't. Is the script locked or is there any? Is the script
There,
locked?
no, there will be some changes. I feel like kind of working with you and reading through this, I can see how some of the beats, and we've talked about this in a few of the rehearsals, some of the beats just aren't there. Would you agree? They just don't feel natural. Um,
Yeah. What I'm trying to, the thing that's missing for me, and again, we're just picking out a couple of scenes, and I just don't, I feel like I don't know that this can stand on its own to get the message out.
mhm,
So I want to, I mean, I don't know. I think from that the visuals will have to tell. Like, for example, when he drops him off,
mhm,
the fact that he makes reference to Clark Street, that almost like, I don't know. For one thing, it's like we have to assume that Clark Street is an upscale area,
yeah,
and the visuals would have to kind of show that Marcus is being dropped off in a place, but then the visuals would have to show him making his way to the projects.
yeah, yeah,
And so, and then, so I'm just saying, that has to be established somewhere visually.
mhm.
And then,
This is getting kind of just for rehearsal standpoint and from
right.
being a filmmaker. Let's shy away from that right now.
Yeah, I got you.
Um,
But anyway, no, I think it's
Okay.
fine.
Okay, that will end our first of three, so thank you.
All right, you're very welcome.